What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I am super excited to finally do this review. I've had this prototype bottle for weeks and also have a production 4-ounce bottle that I got a few days ago to showcase you guys. But today we are finally talking about the new signature Seraphim Blue from Zaharoff. Oh my, do I have so many good things to say. I have already knocked down several ml of this fragrance. I've been wearing this pretty much every day for almost 3 solid weeks. I'm going to be wearing it today. I'm going to the gym after this. We're doing 3 sprays before the gym. I can't wait to finally talk about this fragrance with you guys. We've got a lot to go through, so get ready. Stay tuned. Now then, as per usual, because George is a very dear friend of mine, I have to let you guys know, of course there's natural bias, but oh man, this is such a me fragrance. I've said publicly in my live streams, I feel like George and Claude created this fragrance for me. This is literally the perfect fragrance for me and my personality. So you have to take this with a grain of salt. Anybody that's skeptical, you do not need to pre-order this fragrance. Do not blind buy this fragrance. This video is not to encourage any of that. Obviously, there is an opportunity for you to get it at the lowest possible price in the link in the description, because this is one of those super rare occasions that the 10% off by using my affiliate link is active during the pre-sale pricing. So it's the cheapest you're going to get it. But if you want to wait till launch to sample it first, I strongly encourage that, because just because I am about to rave every which way humanly possible about how much I love this fragrance, and I damn sure love this fragrance, that doesn't mean you're going to. So I encourage you to sample first. Do not just blind buy based off of my opinion. But with that said, let's take a look at this presentation. So, let's get this out the way now. This is my favorite fragrance Claude Deer has ever perfumed. This is my favorite fragrance George Zaharoff has ever released. I love this so much, I like it more than these two. And me and Claude Deer created these together. See that right there? That's Business Over Pleasure and Evening Mystique, my 2 collaboration fragrances with Zaharoff, who I was lucky enough to have perfumed by Claude Deer, who created this masterpiece. I've never come across a blue fragrance that spoke to me more than this. Like I said, I haven't wore a fragrance this much over a span of 3 weeks. I don't know, in 10 years or so, maybe. In a world loaded with variety, where I love all of that variety, this is what I do. I talk about fragrances. I try new fragrances. I review new fragrances. For me to stick to something day in and day out and day in and day out, it just doesn't happen. This is my new #1 over Rosé, which Rosé is an absolute masterpiece. That's still one of my 5 favorite fragrances I've ever smelled, but this is also, something's got to get bumped out of my top 5, because this is absolutely my #1. This is my favorite fragrance right now. And we haven't talked about a single note yet, but I just got to let you guys know, because I've been dying. Any of you that watch my live streams, I've been dying to talk about how much I love this fragrance. I don't care who wants to call me what kind of names and everything. That's sad for you, because if you can't see the excitement here, I don't know what to tell you, and the dents don't lie. So, when you spray this fragrance, there's really 3 stages to this, is how my interpretation and my experience is with it. It opens up very green, fresh, and aromatic. So the lavender here doesn't offer a lot of soapiness, but the rosemary and the eucalyptus here is centrally focused on this. And I know eucalyptus can be a little strange for some, so if you're skeptical about eucalyptus, sample first. Do not blind buy this fragrance because it's very eucalyptus forward, very minty, fresh, airy, breezy type of mintiness to this eucalyptus. So the rosemary, lavender, eucalyptus kind of star in this. I don't get much apple here. Offers a little bit of like bite and crispness, and I think that's part of the rosemary as well, because I don't get a lot of spice out of the rosemary. But there is an underlying little bit of bite, like I was saying. It could be a combination of crisp from green apple with spice from rosemary, because it's got that little bit of just that little bite to it. But it's very green, very aromatic, slightly powdery at first. And as it starts to dry and transition, this salty sea breeze smell comes in. While it is an aquatic, there are sea notes here. It's more of an airy, misty, watery, breezy type of smell than like, knee deep in the ocean. It's a coastal aquatic is the way I would describe this, because there's a lot more going on here than just some oceanic blue aquatic fragrance. This has depth. This still has a lot of the class and elegance people have come to expect from the signature Pour Homme line from Zaharoff. It's still that gentlemanly type of DNA, but this is the casual vacation summertime version. And when I say summertime, it's airy, it's breezy, it's light and fresh, but it's dense. It also has a density and full-bodied nature to this fragrance because of the resins that are still present here. You get no woods here. None of the woods, the oud, the sandalwood, any of the stuff that's traditionally in the signature Pour Homme DNA is not here. The olibanum and the amber are indeed here. The Florentine iris does play a pretty prominent role as it starts to transition. It does get a little powdery. There are other florals here. Mugan, which I'm not really familiar with. It's apparently some type of floral note that I guess just adds to the overall flower. It's more of a white flowery type of tone, but it never really becomes a heavily floral fragrance. There is a light powdery tone. There's a slight creaminess to this, and I think it's some of the balsamic nature of the resin mixing with the musk, mixing with the florals, and it's just this interesting combination where you get fresh green aromatic minty, you get breezy, slightly salty, airy, watery aquatic. You get soft floral powdery. You get clean, creamy, musky. And the seaweed here, if anything, just adds to that. It doesn't really add a bitter feel to this, but I think that's where the saltiness comes from, more so than the sea notes. I can't prove either way that that's the case. It's just the feeling that I have from this, because I don't think the sea notes, because it's not so watery, that I think the sea notes are super prominent here. It's enough to give, like I said, this mist. Like picture waves crashing up the side of a boat or the side of a dock, and that mist that goes out into the air. That's kind of the wateriness I would say that you get from this fragrance. This is beautiful. For anybody looking for a breezy aquatic blue that's not just loaded with synthetics, man, you need to try this fragrance. This is such a fragrance for you, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, because blue fragrances are my forte. That's my go-to. It's my number one genre. It's generic to a lot of people, but I have loads of blue fragrances, from light blue, dark blue, sweet blues, you name it. I probably have it when it comes to blue, or at least I've tried it and maybe passed on it, which is rare because I love blue. This is a unique blue for me, which is such a difficult thing to do. Such a difficult thing. I haven't smelled another blue fragrance like this. I'm not saying another one doesn't exist and you won't pick up nuances that'll remind you of different things. That happens in every single fragrance out there. But it doesn't remind me of anything specific. So naturally, I immediately get excited about things like this. This is going to be a very wordy review. I apologize. I know it's going to be longer. I appreciate those of you sticking with me to really get my thoughts here. But I've spent a lot of time with this fragrance, through the testing process, with the modifications, when it was being created, to getting this bottle. I wear it all the time. I'm going to wear it again today. I can't wait to finally post something scent of the day about this, because I've been wearing it kind of in the shadows, I guess you could say, where it's like I haven't had out the shower fragrances in my weekly rotations for like 3 weeks now because I just wear this every night. I bathe in the damn thing. And speaking of, as far as sprays, because people are going to ask me, less is more for a lot of people. 3, 4, 5 sprays, you're going to get plenty of sillage, which we'll talk about performance momentarily. But this is also one that's not so suffocating that you can bathe in this shit if you really want to. I've done 9 and 10 sprays multiple times now. I'm pretty much like, that's a regular thing for me now. I just start spraying. And it's not overwhelming. It does dial up that sillage, though, I have to say. But if you're looking for a do-it-all aquatic, something with true elegance, density, and originality and character, that's not just a basic generic like something you'll find at a department store on a fragrance counter, you should try Seraphim Blue. Okay, so performance. I've described this in my live streams as a light blue with longevity because it is more of a light blue than a typical blue because it's so breezy and airy, but still has staying power. It's not a suffocating fragrance, like I said. So easily 8 to 10 hours of longevity. I haven't clocked it beyond 10 or 11 hours because I typically take a shower at that point. A lot of my testing has been in the afternoon to evenings into the next morning, and it's always there the next day, not quite a faint skin scent. So I can safely throw it in the 8 to 10 hour range in longevity, which, you know, the human element being a huge variable from person to person, your olfactive perception, your sensitivity of your sense of smell, your skin chemistry, all these things are going to play a role, but I think most people are going to get really good longevity out of this. And then the projection, like I said, not suffocating. I would put it moderate. Arm's reach maybe a little bit better for about an hour and a half, 2 hour range. Nothing crazy. Now you start dialing it up more, it's going to push a lot more. That's where the spray number comes in to effect. Spray number doesn't dictate longevity. Spray number dictates how big that scent bubble is going to be early on, okay? The way it's going to last on you is the way it's going to last on you. The way it's going to be really strong coming off of you, that's if you're moderate and modest with your sprays or you're bathing in it and you don't want to be a sissy sprayer, you know what I mean? So I think both sides of that coin are going to enjoy this because you can do the less is more approach and people will smell you and you will smell yourself because it's not loaded with synthetics. I don't really go that nose blind to this one personally. And then if you really want to fill a room, you can. You just spray a bit heavier. You heavy sprayers, you go nuts. You won't suffocate yourself. At least I don't. I can dial up the sprays. I've done as much as 12 sprays with this one, and it's not suffocating. It's not overwhelming, even for my wife. Which, when it's too strong for her, she lets me know. So, again, moderate range, I would say, nice and safe range for hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, more so hour and a half to 2 hours in projection. And then the sillage, it doesn't change much from the projection. It's moderate. It's constantly seeking me out. I don't have to go looking for this fragrance. It's always looking for my nostrils. It's always looking to remind me and let me know it's there. The sillage in this is beautiful. I never get tired of smelling this fragrance. And the performance is just right for me to enjoy my wear because the wearing experience and the way something smells is the most important thing about a fragrance to me, well beyond how it performs on my skin. And sometimes the performance is a perfect match to make the ultimate wearing experience between scent and the way it comes off the skin. And for me, perfect. So this was a long individual review because I had a lot to say. As you guys know, I don't give ratings to George's fragrances. They're always going to be highly rated because he only puts out really good fragrances. But if there was such a thing as a 10 out of 10 from Zaharoff, it's this. I've only given one other 10 in my life, and it's the Solar Blue because of the way that somewhat similar style fragrance to this suits my taste, my style, my personality, my daily life. That is where this falls into. It's perfection for me. May not be a 10 for you. And like I said, I normally don't do this, but it's so perfect for me. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like Claude and George made this fragrance for me. I would have loved for this to have been my fragrance. Oh my, I don't think I could have created a better blue personally if I had wrapped my mind around, here's what I like to do, Claude. So kudos to George and Claude. I don't know who else in the world that gets this fragrance is going to feel the way I do about this, but I love this fragrance. This is true perfection for me and my personality. I hope anyone that experiences this can get even the slightest similarity and joy to the wearing experiences and the fun that I have wearing this fragrance because I am such a fan of this one. I am so glad I have more than one bottle. Thank God I have 6 ounces. because this is going to be heavy in the rotation. I'm going to wear this at least a few more times this week. It's probably going to stay in my rotation moving forward. It's going to take a while for me to want to get sick of this and not wear it for a little while, because I just love it, guys. Again, on our way out, I want to reiterate one more time. Just because I'm raving about this fragrance and how perfect it is for me does not mean it will be for you. Sample. The pre-sale with the additional 10% is for those that are going to buy from Zaharoff anyway and want an opportunity to get the bottle they're going to buy anyway because they love the brand, they love George's creations, at the lowest price they possibly can. That's who that pre-sale is for. The additional 10% is just a random rare occasion. So yay for you guys, yay for everyone involved. That's awesome. It's rare. It's only happened one other time where he's allowed that discount on top of the discount he's already putting it at. But wait for the samples. My understanding is shipping June 1st, so you guys have time to think about it for the pre-sale, but also you can sample it. Do not feel like you have to blind buy this. Again, because I know I raved my ass off on this because I love this fragrance. So again, George, Claude, I don't want to clap real loud into this microphone, but this is my favorite fragrance in my collection right now. Will that change? Probably at some point, because I love variety. I'm always trying new things, but I've never come across a blue fragrance that has moved me and spoke to me more clearly and loudly than this fragrance does. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you are excited to try this? I'm sure I got a lot of you excited. The passion bleeds through in this camera. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. I get excited. I don't hide my excitement when I get excited about something. If I'm not feeling something, you can see that I'm not feeling it. But boy, when I love something, here you go. It's easy to see I'm really into something. And the shitty part is it comes off as a sales pitch to haters and stuff. It's weird. I just love this fragrance, and I hope when you try this, you get, even half as much love for this as I do. Some people not going to be for. Some people are going to say, I don't get why he likes this so much. This is generic. This is basic. You're going to hear that. It's just natural when it comes to an art form like perfumery that's so subjective and it's very taste driven. But for my taste, this is that jam. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Seraphim Blue from Zaharoff and you give it a spray now, I am so confident that you're going to end up thanking me later, especially if you have similar taste to mine. Have a good one, guys.